right, so we're here in the blue and gray mats. It's been a little while since we've been here. The gym is very busy right now. We got classes basically going on all the time. And so I don't get very many chances to do these videos here, but we're doing some late night recording like old times. So we got the camera out here and I'm happy to have you. So let's jump into this question from Marshall, who sends me a message saying that his MMA coaches and his jiu-jitsu coaches and everything else, all the coaches in his gym, tell him that he has a toughness about him that others just don't seem to have naturally, that he's very skilled, all this stuff, basically talking him up in a big way. And he says that he believes them, that he doesn't think that they're lying, but he doesn't see it. And so his question really boils down to, and this is what he asks to me, how do you discover something about yourself that others see, but that you don't necessarily see in yourself? That's a good question, bro. And it's one I've dealt with a lot over the years. I just read an article. It was on a newsletter that I subscribed to, and it was quoting, I think it was Mark Manson, who said that the perception of ourself or our identity, and I would say your perception of yourself, your ego, maybe if you want to consider it like a movie reel that plays in your head, I've used that analogy on the channel before, that identity that you have, it lags behind reality by like 1 to 2 years. And I think there's something to this because I know that I've dealt with this kind of thing multiple times, like lots of times in my life, right? Just a couple off the top of my head. I remember when I was a teenager, I was a fat, overweight teenager, lost a bunch of weight. And I remember even as abdominal muscles are starting to like poke through my stomach and muscles are starting to show, other people are telling me, man, you look great. I still felt like a fat kid. You know, my identity was still stuck as a fat kid and had not updated to the reality that I was in pretty damn good shape. Purple belt and black belt. When I got both of those belts, those were big milestones for me, bro, at the time. You know, when I got my purple belt, there were not many of them around here. And when I got my black belt, I was one of like less than a handful in the city. They were big deals. And so when I got those, I remember thinking like I tricked someone because I didn't belong being a purple belt. I didn't belong as a black belt. I felt like an imposter, right? Even though my coaches were telling me, bro, you got this, you're good. And I remember my very first MMA fight, like leading up to it, up until the very moment where they closed that damn door shut and the cage shut, and I was locked into a cage with another human being. I was so nervous about it, and no matter what anybody told me, I didn't feel like I had it. I didn't feel like I had it in me. I didn't feel like I was going to do well. Now, obviously, all those situations worked out pretty well for me. So what did I do and what can you do, right? So that's the question. So first things first, you're already kind of doing it, right? You are trusting in the observations of the others around you. And that's important because, like I said, and like I believe, our perception, our identity, that movie reel that plays in our head is lagging behind reality. So as you're forging yourself into a new person, and that's really what you're doing, right? This person that you're creating a new person. I posted that about this on Instagram one time. Like me as a person, I created this. This is not accidental. This was through habits and a lot of work and everything else. Everything that I have in my life, all created, right? You're creating someone new. You're forging yourself into someone brand new. And as you're doing that, reality's doing this, perception's right here. So you got to trust in the observation of those people around you, your coaches, your training partners. And you know, if you want to let this bleed over into your life, which it definitely can, you know, your family, your coworkers, the people close to you that have your best intentions at heart, trust in those people. Trust what they see because they a lot of times can see something that you don't see in yourself because when it comes to us as people, especially people like you and I that maybe sometimes undersell ourselves mentally, we're too close to the trees to see the forest. And so we can't see ourselves in sometimes an objective view like others can, right? So you trust in their observations. And in this situation, I would trust in their observation and go to the fight. Go do the MMA fight that you're thinking about doing, right? Now, here's something that's interesting. There's a really simple way to update your identity a little faster so that you can start to see what those people are seeing, right? And also, too, it will help you develop what I consider is a damn superpower in real life, right? We don't have like X-Men mutant superpowers, but it's a real superpower. And that is self-trust. And you develop it by going through these challenging situations. So for instance, what happens is, you know, again, when I lost a bunch of weight, all of a sudden I'm going into wrestling that year. And I remember I didn't feel like I was any different. And then all of a sudden I'm wrestling with people and I'm doing really well. And then all of a sudden I'm wrestling varsity and I don't think I can do very well at this, you know, varsity. And I'm going up against these guys and my coaches are saying, no, you got this. And so I just believe in them and I go wrestle against those people and I win. as a purple belt and a black belt. Again, I trusted my coaches. I go compete within a month of getting both of those belts, and I did very well in both of those. Won some matches, lost some matches, but no matter what, I realized I belonged, and I updated that identity of who I was with new stories. Right, that movie reel got some clips added to it. And with my MMA fight, I didn't feel like I was ready. I was a nervous wreck, as I said, until they locked that damn cage door shut. But when I fought, my muscle memory took over, the training took over, and I won very easily. And again, new story, got clipped into the movie reel, and I was more able to see what they saw because I just went through this challenging situation, and I realized that I had what it took. Win or lose, I had what it took. And that's, to me, what really self-trust is about and why I consider it a superpower, because so many people shy away from doing the things that in their deepest hearts of hearts, they want to do it, right? They want to do these things, whatever that might be, right? But they don't do it because they don't trust themselves. They don't trust that they have what it takes. And again, when I say have what it takes, I don't mean just to win. I'm saying like you have what it takes to succeed, potentially, but nothing's guaranteed. But you also have what it takes to go out there and lose and bounce back from it, because that's a big deal, right? Most of, like when we're talking about training, we spend a lot of time failing, and you got to be able to deal with that, and you got to trust in yourself that you can do that. And so again, going back to it, in each one of those situations that I described earlier where I did not believe in myself, I threw myself into it anyway, even though I didn't believe in myself, because I trusted my coaches and all the training that I've been through. And then as I went in through those challenging situations, the identity got updated. I got a little software update in my head, right, of who I actually am. And reality was more real to me, right? So my perception was meeting reality. And so I would tell you to do the same thing. Put yourself in those challenging situations that you deeply, deeply want to do, like this MMA fight. Trust in your coaches. And what you'll probably find is as you do more of these types of things, you'll realize that, oh, all that stuff that they were talking about, it was true. And here's the stories that I now have to prove it to myself. And so, brother, good luck with your upcoming MMA fight if you fight, or whatever you got coming up. And for anybody else that was having that same issue, hope this is helpful to you. I'll talk to you guys next time.